Trigger warning, this video will contain images of Charlie Kirk, which viewers may find disturbing. I would skip this video if you have sleep paralysis. Please don't make fun of me for my tiny microphone. It's honestly just fun to hold, and I feel like I need to hold something while I'm talking. I'm really not sure if it has any effect on the audio quality, to be honest. If you've been online in the past week or so, you may have had the misfortune of coming across that Jubilee video where Charlie Kirk flashes the most uncanny smile I've ever seen in my entire life. It just made me think a lot about Jubilee's content in general, and if there's really any benefit to these type of content and videos. If you don't know what Jubilee is, it's a channel where they like to put people on opposing sides of issues in the same room and ask them questions that will intentionally stir up arguments and debate. And sometimes this goes really well and really productive conversations are had, but most of the time you just get
speaking. No, I'm 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 speaking. Got it. Thank you.
Anyways, I have not watched either of the recent most popular Jubilee videos, so I'm gonna watch and react to them. Pray for my sanity. To be completely honest, I'm not sure that these types of videos are very productive for political or social reasons. They don't really add any meaningful conversation to the dialogue, and honestly, it just comes across as pitting parties against each other, which just creates more divisiveness, which is honestly the last thing that we need. I also feel like there's a lot of bias that is very clearly shown just if you scroll through the videos that are on the channel. Like, why did they put 25 liberal college students against someone who is supposed to be a professional debater, and then it's one woke team surviving 20 Trump supporters? Something seems a little unequal there. To be honest, I don't really think getting in a room and purposefully trying to argue with people who disagree with you is going to produce any kind of meaningful conversations, and you already know going into this type of debate that you're not going to change these people's minds. Like, they are on this channel because they know they have a very firm set of beliefs, and most likely they know that talking to someone who holds opposite beliefs is not going to change their opinion. Yelling at people or creepily smiling at them is also probably not going to change their opinion either, and that's not how you get through to people, even if you are trying to get them to see your side of things at the very least. This section of the video series is called Surrounded, and the video is called Can One Woke Teen Survive 20 Trump Supporters? Again, I'm not really sure that this setup is the most equitable, but since it's called Surrounded, let's give it a shot. First of all, this video is an hour and 42 minutes long. I'm not sure what kind of sadist is wanting to willingly sit through an hour and 42 minutes of a teen debating 20 Trump supporters, but the video has over 8 million views. So apparently people do.
You believe that?
Yes, I do believe that.
Okay, so you were racist,
yes,
just like Donald Trump.
I'm not racist.
Do you mind if
wow, you're calling a Hispanic and a Cuban racist.
Do you mind if I take 30 seconds here? All right. So first of all, yes.
Another white liberal. All right.
These people literally have never heard of nuance in their entire life. It's excruciating.
I've said everything I need to say. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, so I mean, well, yeah, I think that looking at Barack Obama, saying that he was born in Africa and then even denying his birth certificate from Hawaii, still attributing his birth to Africa, I don't really see any other explanation apart from that, besides the fact that Barack Obama has black skin. And then another example
that's also a comment. That wasn't a racist action. That was a comment. Okay. What action as...
So comments are not actions and shouldn't have any bearing in one's taking accountability. We're really going strong here. Red shirt.
Against not even just blacks, against other races.
All right, first, I don't think that we should call African Americans blacks. I think that's a dehumanizing word. But
okay.
Second of all,
your opinion, but
okay.
That's your opinion, but shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
Second of all, right, even if we look at the last month or two, I'd say that saying Kamala Harris, right, quote unquote, turned black, implying that she wasn't black prior. That's another racist comment. We could also reference that as a debate.
She plays with that. One day she's Indian, one day she's black.
That's not true.
Hello.
Howdy.
Oh, I already don't like this bitch.
It's nice to meet you as well.
So, you're looking back at Donald Trump's history. One thing I do want to say, I don't know if you are.
Of course, her name is Lori. If you would have given me this woman's picture and a list of names, I think I could literally have guessed that. Why do they fit the stereotype so well? I don't believe in judging people based off looks in debates, but She's fucking asking for it. I'm sorry.
So when you kind
They
of
shouldn't
virtue
be
signal on
here.
behalf of that.
They shouldn't be here.
Okay. All right.
And America, and my husband's an immigrant,
Okay. Yeah, but
a
it also.
legal immigrant
Okay.
who came here legal.
She really threw that one in there.
In our country right now that was reported, we've got gotaways, we've got 10-day de agua. I've interviewed Oscar Blue, who's been through the Darien Gap 4
Wait,
times.
what did she just say? I don't know if it's like my auditory processing disorder, but I literally did not understand a word she just said.
Put a lot of businesses out of business during COVID. During the past years that COVID was in existence, all the states that were liberal, Democrat-run states have controlled a lot
Why
of
is he
the
laughing?
process here in the state of California. Like,
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
You didn't answer my. I'm so sorry.
In the state of
You didn't
California,
answer my
Gavin
question.
Newsom in the state.
I love how they say liberal Democrat as like one word. It's always like liberal Democrat policies, liberal Democrat, liberal Democrat. It's never separate.
Do you think every liberal Democrat should take home a migrant to show their support for the local
COVID, he tried to keep businesses open. I mean, Democrats were trying to close down all their states.
Can you name a
Put
policy?
businesses that they put. No.
I love how the kid's just trying to get like a solid fact out of this dude. Like he's literally just trying to get him to name one policy and he can't even do it. He's just like word vomiting all over the table.
Is honestly, the question's dumb. The statement's dumb. Because it's one-sided and it's an opinion on what we think he believes or he feels.
So this prompt says Donald Trump doesn't care about the American people. I would like to give you my reason.
Well, I'll actually answer the other thing you mentioned. A policy that Donald Trump pushed for that benefited low and middle income people.
More than it benefited the top 1%.
His tax policies. And I know this for a fact because I'm middle low income. And everyone I know that's middle to low income, actually, I don't know that many. Everyone makes more money than me.
Okay. Do you mind if I?
No.
Everyone makes more money than me. Please, sir, lower the taxes.
About Trump's tax policies are those that make a reasonably high amount of money. There is nobody I know that makes over like 200 something K that doesn't complain about his tax policy. So I don't know what you make doing this. It's probably more than I make. I kind of wish I did what you do to a degree. But if you're making more than 200K, then I'm sure you can complain, but...
Where is he going with this tidbit? I'm poor. I win the debate because I'm poor. I win the debate because I don't understand how tax policy works. I love how this kid is literally making himself breathless, trying to get out a literal hard fact and statistic that he fucking memorized. This dude has no notes in front of him before these people interject and say the most stupid fucking comment you've ever heard in your entire life. And that's literally how most of these debates go, like on the entire channel. It'll be like one smart person and then like 50 stupid people interjecting. At least they fact checked on this video.
Okay. So is it all right if I give you my reasons why I'd say he doesn't care about the American people?
In 10 seconds or less.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like in order to like have.
Bro, Lori needs to sit down.
Sure.
Okay, red cowgirl boots. I see that. I feel like she's gonna say something.
So on one hand, I kind of agree with you because I don't think that the average conservative cares about family enough, but I would say that conservatives care a lot more about the family unit than liberals and then people on the left, especially like was brought up when it comes to the pro-life issue, when it comes to promoting the whole LGBT, like all of these things are generally anti-family, and liberals are also generally very individualistic, while conservatives have always been.
So liberals are individualistic for wanting to take care of the community as a whole and focus less on corporate greed and capitalism. Interesting take, Sarah.
You name one policy he influenced to get passed that benefited the low or the middle class more so than the top 1%.
I don't know when I'm speaking about individualistic on the terms of economics, yes, I would say conservatives are more individualistic, as in we're not socialists, we're not wanting to redistribute wealth. Yes.
Socialist. Do you know, real quick, can you define socialism for me?
When I'm speaking about socialism, I'm talking about the redistribution of wealth and like promoting the welfare system.
Okay, so I mean, socialism like is just a mode of production, so it just has to do with the workers owning the means of production. The only reason like I'm pointing this out is because I feel like MAGA, Republicans, conservatives as a whole, have really misconstrued socialism, communism, etc. But one last question for you here. You said that promoting the LGBTQ plus community is anti-family. How so?
Because, for instance, I mean, conservatives and people on the right have more.
Damn, saved by the fucking bell. I am honestly so glad that we didn't have to hear whatever the fuck she was gonna say after that.
Bring it up, but I'm just going to bring it up again. You were talking about when to start a family. I think that's really interesting. I think the choice to start a family is when you have sex. Personally, and you know, someone will probably be more informed. Having sex
Oh my
is
god.
when you take that
No one wants to hear from you, red shirt dude. No one fucking wants to hear from you.
risk, if you want to call it, informational than me about this. But I think that having sex is when you take that risk. If you
I love how that the teenager was literally discussing policy, like literally listing policy that different administrations want to do to help families and supports the claim that Democrats do care about family values. And then this dude just starts talking about sex.
a father or mother, and I think I forgot what it was. IVF, is that what you said? That helps. Is that help with abortion? Is that correct?
No, IVF is in vitro fertilization, right?
Oh, brother. These people are voting on our bodies and our right to bodily autonomy. If anything, let this be a reminder to fucking vote in November.
This allows, right, certain like partners who want to be able to conceive like naturally to still have a child. And I would like to respond to your claim there about this idea that engaging in sex is when you commit to starting a family.
Sure.
That's a great reason why I think conservatives don't actually care about family values.
Okay.
We know that our youth will continuously engage in intercourse. We know that we will see people that do this for fun outside of the context of wanting to start a family. I'd say, right, pushing the traditional value that, you know, sex leads to a kid and you're obligated to that, you have to deal with the consequence, right, is antithetical to caring about family values, because when you do that, you force unwanted children into unready households.
I think that this entire interaction that he just had highlights the fact that a lot of conservatives base their values on what they think that everyone else should be following. And a lot of times they just want to be praised for doing what they have been socialized to believe is the right thing, which is starting a family, going to church, getting a job, paying your taxes, etc. And oftentimes, this doing of the right thing causes them misery. And they want to project this misery onto other people, which is why they want to vote for stricter policy that's going to force people who have dared to live their own lives and step out of the social norms into what they believe is the right thing. But ultimately, these conservatives just want to be praised and acknowledged for forcing themselves into the mold that everyone has told them they should fit, rather than trying to have any sense of individuality or trying to figure out who they are or what they actually want or what their actual values are. I think that that is a keystone of American conservatism.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Okay, so really bold, clear statement that Democrats are very patriotic. Let's talk about the actions of the Democrats being very glorious in loving our country.
Well, I would like to clarify.
Yeah, clarify.
He's obviously coming into this with a lot of hostility, and I think he's being like really polite and well mannered, and this woman is like coming with a stick up her ass, like ready to fight him.
And it's not that Democrats are very patriotic, it is that they are more patriotic than Republicans, but I apologize for interrupting you.
Okay, no, but I would like clarity on what are those actions, because in my understanding in Democrats being very patriotic is destroying the nuclear family, burning down flags, burning down buildings. I mean, we see just destruction in our cities. Did you like see the trash and all the homelessness going on in LA? What is patriotic?
You can tell she thinks that she's eating right now, and I find that really, really hilarious.
Allowing the human sex trafficking, allowing all these things and policies going on. Like, what is patriotic about that? What screams "I love America" of people?
So how exactly is human sex trafficking the Democrats' fault? Which candidate has been accused of sexual assault again?
engaged by Democrats that have been anti-patriotic, such as burning the flag,
Yeah.
such as burning down buildings in the riots. And I agree with you, right? I think that those are clear displays of anti-patriotic behaviors. Do I necessarily disagree with them all the time? No, I don't think that it's wrong to burn the American flag if it's in protest of actions of the American government. But my claim here is that there's nothing less patriotic than supporting Donald Trump, a man that has already tried to destroy our country internally by overthrowing the results, or attempting to overthrow the results of the 2020.
Okay, I completely understand that statement. I don't agree with that, but we're not talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about your statement.
The fact that everyone's hand goes up the second that he says any kind of trigger word, or right now he's going to bring up the insurrection, and like immediately 10 hands shot up, really just comes to show these people are not interested in having any kind of productive dialogue whatsoever. I think that the people who participate in these videos are probably way more interested in having a viral gotcha moment than actually making any kind of succinct political point or changing people's minds. Now we're going to move on to the Charlie Kirk video. I apologize in advance for how disgusting this man is, and he's really difficult to look at and watch.
My first prompt is, abortion is murder and should be illegal. All right.
Can I maybe go?
There's nothing I love more than listening to straight white men talk about what women can or can't do with their bodies. Yay, I'm so excited.
All right.
Can I maybe go?
Okay, I'm sorry, but the way that they have this set up where the people who are debating have to like run in and try and sit on the chair like it's musical chairs is really funny. I think that the person who came up with this deserves a raise because this is the comedic relief that I needed.
Okay, hello, what's your name?
Juliana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
we get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. And then murder is the intentional taking of life, different than killing or sudden.
I love how he just gives like his own personal definition. Like that is not by any means the medical definition of abortion. And then he's like, oh yeah, you agree with that, right? You agree that that's my definition that I just made up. You're going to agree to it. Otherwise, you're not a good debater.
Death. So murder would be the intent with intent taking another life. Do we agree with that?
Okay.
She's a good sport
and then
for
we
putting
agree
up with
that
that, honestly. I would have
murder in general
repeated
in
that
society
claim like
should be illegal.
immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I do want to preface that I'm a Catholic. So I think one really important thing that the Bible says is to not judge. And just going back to the topic, I think there's a big difference between, you know, cells in utero than a living, breathing, existing being. And while I do believe it's murder, and that's just my personal belief, right? I don't believe in telling people what to do with their bodies. That's not up to me, and it's not up to us as well as Christians to judge.
Should we prevent murder in society?
For sure, yeah.
Then it should be illegal.
But I think that it's really different, right? Because
I love how they like immediately voted her out as soon as she started bringing up her Catholicism.
Okay, what's your name?
Naima.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, can I just ask?
Oh my god, that little smirk she does when she gets the seat and she knows she's about to body this bitch. I love her. I've already seen this clip online, but like she was determined from the beginning. Like she was in that sprinting position.
At how many weeks do you think that a fetus is viable?
Well, viability and moral worth are two different things.
No, but I'm asking you, at how many weeks do you
Well,
think
at
a
about
fetus
20
is viable?
weeks, a baby can survive outside of utero.
So it's actually 24 to 26
Well, it's
weeks?
20. The youngest ever in a NICU unit actually happened in San Diego, not.
Well, actually, I don't understand how anyone thinks that this is an effective debate strategy to just like overtly belittle your opponents. Also, he looks like fucking Megamind, and I like literally can't stand to look at him. It makes me nauseous.
Right now with dementia in a home down the street. That person requires assistance, requires help. Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the f? I'm sorry, is this
It means little human being.
Ooh, his smile is very creepy. Okay,
Smiling is creepy?
no, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back to...
I love that she had the balls to say that to his face, because if that were me, I would have just sat there and like grimaced to myself. But I love that she straight up said, "Your smile is creepy." I think that was a really fantastic power move. Also, I looked up whether or not the definition of fetus in Latin is little human being. It's literally not. Like, I don't know where he got this information, but I could not find any source that fetus in Latin translates to little human being. It just literally doesn't. So, surprised they didn't fact check that.
Development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent its implantation, intentionally killing it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not necessarily the same thing as terminating a fertilized egg. For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not the same thing. Preventing the production of progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay, yeah, so preventing fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
So what do you say in some cases, women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that.
So what's the difference?
According to the NIHS, over 60% of zygotes don't implant. So if you have an IUD, that's a 60% chance if you've conceived that zygote's not going to make it, meaning it's going to get flushed out when your progesterone rises and you're about to get your period. So in theory, there is a pretty high chance that if you do happen to conceive while you have an IUD implanted, that you've probably murdered a baby, according to Charlie Kirk.
How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's, like, in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion should be legal?
There's a very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do think that a couple cases it is legal?
If cesarean section is not going to save the mother's life, and the mother's life is actually at risk, which is debated amongst growing numbers of OBGYNs, that is the only case where abortion should be allowed. But people say that it is a growing consensus in the pro-life world that abortion is never medically necessary.
Okay.
So I love that this is a growing consensus in the pro-life world, but it's definitely not in the OBGYN world, because the majority of OBGYNs are pro-choice and agree that there should not be legal restrictions on abortion. And that's for a multitude of reasons, not just because it puts women's lives at risk, but because it prevents physicians from doing their job, which has led to an increasing number of women literally bleeding out in parking lots or having to get to the point where they are septic in order to be treated. The truth is, there aren't very many accredited pro-life OBGYNs, and if they are, then they're usually religiously associated. But the overall scientific consensus is that restricting abortion hurts women's health and hurts global public health as well.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
That's awfully graphic. You know what else is graphic? Women perforating their uteruses with coat hangers and bleeding out in bathrooms, but apparently that's not graphic enough to bother you.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
That is an absolutely insane statement, and hearing that come out of a man's mouth makes me literally sick to my stomach.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's two ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was probably hopefully conceived by a somewhat loving couple.
Conceived by? Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights and it's all human beings.
But that doesn't matter. It's about your daughter who has to give birth to it and is going to be tortured by that for the rest of her life. That's going to take away every freedom she's ever going to have.
This leads into my overall point about Jubilee's content, is I don't think that it's providing any kind of productive, meaningful input to politics or to these very hard, very real conversations. If anything, I think that it devoids people of hope even further and makes the other side seem even more extreme and hostile. We're already predisposed to be biased against people that have different beliefs than us, so when we're pitted against them directly, and then obviously the producers are choosing the most loud, eccentric, outgoing people to participate in these types of videos, you're going to get content like this. And it just makes the other side seem so much more extreme than it probably is in real life. The truth is, if you were to have a conversation with someone of opposing political views in real life, it probably would not go like this. And I think that putting in people's brains that every person who doesn't believe the same things that they do are somehow extreme, and on this very extreme end of the political spectrum is overall probably doing harm. I think this kind of leads into a little discussion about the ethics of producing Jubilee and producing this type of content in general. Obviously, it's YouTube videos, it's entertainment. They're going to pick the most entertaining bits and the most entertaining characters to participate in this type of debate. I think that the kid from the first video was very well mannered and very well spoken, but the people they chose to be on the opposite side were obviously not, and that's intentional. So at what point can we hold people like Jubilee producers responsible for creating more divisiveness and making our political opponents seem much more extreme and violent and volatile than they actually are? Now, as pro-choice as I am and as pro-reproductive rights as I am, I can admit that probably not every single pro-lifer or someone who opposes having open access to abortion is going to sit there with their chest and say that they would force a 10-year-old to deliver a baby. That is a very extreme opinion that is probably held by very few people, but by platforming someone like Charlie Kirk, making this seem like this is the current conservative view of abortion is not only false, but also just makes people panic and fucking grossed out. I think that we're all already very stressed and very anxious about politics in general in this country and about the election specifically. I don't think that these videos provide any kind of incentive to have meaningful conversations, because who wants to be yelled at? Who wants to be subjected to Charlie Kirk at all, really? I think that instead we should encourage more realistic dialogue, and that's talking to people in real life and not online, where everything is monetized and has to be as entertaining and soundbiteable as possible. Anyways, I think I'm going to end it here because I think subjecting myself to any more of Charlie Kirk would be considered self-harm. I encourage you all to go out and have real, meaningful conversations with your friends and family and talk about things in a respectful way, because likely people who see things differently than you aren't actually malicious, or definitely aren't as extreme as the people come across in this video. It is okay to disagree with people. It is okay to have discourse. But I think that we should put some forethought into what this discourse is doing for the overall community, and if these videos actually have any meaningful purpose aside from being just funny content. Have a good rest of your day. I hope Charlie Kirk's face doesn't give you nightmares. Personally, I know that I will be seeing him in my dreams tonight. Bye.